I'm just gonna start recording this as well, because why not? But we've got, it's been a whole ass year. It is almost 2026 already, and the year both feels like the longest thing ever and also the shortest. A lot has happened in the last year. A lot. We hit affiliate this year. Something that I'm very proud of and something that I'm very happy for is the fact that we hit affiliate in, I think, March or April of this year. I don't remember which. But hang on, let me look up Twitch. Let me look up my Twitch stats. See if I can find my Twitch stats in a more Oh, I just realized some of my friend is streaming. I didn't know that they were streaming. They're doing their Windcraft thing. It's so cute. They're really cool. All right, let me look at my stats real quick. Let me see if I can pull up my. Let me see if I can pull up my my yearly analytics. It's been 10 months since you got affiliate. Oh my god. It has been almost a year. So I got it. There is no fucking way that it must have been right at the very beginning of March. Cuz that has to be it. Like there's no way that I got it in like February. Hang on, we got discovery, engagement. Can I look at research? What about overview? In the last year? Can we have the last year? Start date of 2025. Okay. January to December 2025. Okay, it doesn't let me. It can only show me the analytics over the last month, which is unfortunate. So fuck it. You know what we're gonna do? So maybe I'm lying. So I got founder 10-month subscriber. Yeah, I think that like approximates. I had to have gotten it in March, because what do you call it? I had to have gotten it in March. Oh my god. So what we're gonna do is instead I'm just gonna fucking pull up the what I can do is I can just pull up the before game room. No. Yes, that's where we are right now. I can literally just pull up the the stuff here. So we can look at it together, chat. Look at this. We're gonna look at this together. 3:30. So it was March. So it was the end of March, beginning of April. Yeah, so it's just about 9 months. So I don't know why it's saying 10 months. But let's bring this back to the beginning of the year. January 2025. Okay, I guess I can't look at I guess I can't look at that. That's unfortunate. Wait, I can't look at that. That's so sad. Okay, we're just give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to like just show off like my year. Because I don't remember anything that I did in January. January was a whole thing of I don't even know. Like what did I do in January? Let me hang on. Wasn't there some Twitch app that showed what you played? I mean, I know there was, of course, you know, they had Steam, you had Steam Replay, which was very, you know, you could also do that, but there was, what was that website? What was that Twitch stream website over time? What was that Twitch stream website that showed analytics over time? Twitch Tracker, that's what it was. Twitch Tracker, okay. So let's see if we can pull it up. January 2025. Oh my god, I did like nothing back then. So February. No, you this stupid thing. This thing is being stupid, okay? Alright, so we got that. Okay, there we go. Okay, I got it. I fucking got it. So now I should be able to cut it off here. Let's take a peek at what at our year. What did I stream? I'm not sure how accurate this is. But January to the end of February, we really didn't do that much. We gained 7 followers, streamed for 12 hours, which was what? Maybe like 4 days, like 4 or 5 days of 2 hours each. We'll say 6 days, 2 hours. 5 active days, so 5 days, 12 hours. So yeah, it was about 6 hours, or about 2.5 hours each, like 2.5 hours each day. And we have come a long way from that point. I was so nervous to even talk to myself back then. And yet here we are, where I'm literally, I've got a whole model here. I've got a lot more energy. I've got a lot more sort of gusto to stream. But yeah, we did some Rabbit and Steel. That was when we did Sir Whoop Ass with Matt Zaz. That was fun. That was a fun game. God, that was in February. That was like ridiculous. We did some Siege, not really much to say then. And then we didn't stream from like the end of January to like a week after February started. God damn. We really didn't do that much. But look at that. We had 90 followers at the end of February. 90. And look at us now. Look at us now. We are looking at a grand total of... Yeah, where is it? Where is it? 270. We have 180 more followers. We've gained 180 followers over the course of this year, which I think is an absolutely astounding number. A beautiful, like, amazing, awesome, really cool thing that we've done. And it's one of the things that I'm super proud of that we've all come together and accomplished. Is just the fact of how much we've done over the last year. And that's not even all. Like, so I'm gonna just be straight up. It's gonna be a lot of like talking about my year and then talking about talking about what happened over on the channel, as well as some personal stuff. But there's also going to be a section later where I've put together a few of the communities and some friends' comments, Like, you know, just a sort of little thing. We'll get to that in a little bit, but oh my god, we've come like yeah, just looking 90 followers, 12 hours streamed in the entire month of January and February. I did like no streaming according to this. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but if we look at February and then go to the end of March, we picked up quite a few here. I think it was still about 2.5 hours, but we had a lot more activity here, as you can see, especially towards the end of March when we really got into things. And we got Valhalla here, which I'm definitely going to be going back to at some point, but I need to. We're definitely going to need a recap on Valhalla. We did some modded Minecraft. We did some more Enshrouded. We kind of didn't really do like all that much though. Like it was kind of like, oh, that was when Monster Hunter Wilds. March is when Wilds really started. And that's when I really started picking up. March 30th, right here. That is the day we got affiliate. Or that is the, like when we officially got affiliate and we could start subbing. And we could start doing stuff as an affiliate. Like, I think we probably got it somewhere around, like, here. And then we moved, like, you know, had to take care of all the legal and paperwork and shit. But 23 hours stream by the end of the month. What are we looking at here? We have 2 hours, 2 hours. Then we had a 3-hour Monster Hunter Wild stream. Another 3 hours of who the fuck knows what stream that is. It's just recorded a day, which is why I don't fully trust this. But by the end of the month, we were looking at quite a whopping fucking... God, that was a whole thing. Also, can I just say, I like the little like a phylactery look that the chart is giving us. But that was when we hit affiliate. That was a whole, that was a whole thing. So let's bump it up to April. I did nothing in April. That's just why I think this is bullshit. I think this is absolutely bullshit. And I don't think it's tracking this correctly because I absolutely did more in April than this is saying. So let's just skip ahead. So we'll go through May. What do you say I've got for May? May is when I started MonsterCon. It was when I first was invited to MonsterCon. And, God, I got so addicted to that. I played the same day that I streamed my first MonsterCon. I played it for another 2 hours beforehand. This is probably MonsterCon as well. Then we had more MonsterCon and Monster Camp, and then we did some more Siege. And fucking Close Your Eyes was in April, or it was in May? Oh my god. I feel like that was so long ago. But God, was that really this year? That can't have been this year, right? Like, has that time flown by already? Then we had June. 30 hours streamed over the course of 7 days. So we had quite a few long streams. Oh, this is the day that we had our... No, that can't be the day. That cannot be the day that we had... Okay, no, that wasn't our stream. That was a couple other things. Okay, ignore that. Here is the day. The 27th of June. We streamed for a grand total of 10 hours. Or 12 hours. It doesn't say... It doesn't... Oh, that's because it extended out into there. Okay, so that's the other 2 hours. So yeah, we had... That was our charity stream day. Which, by the way, I still have a list of everybody who donated on charity day. And we are going to be doing a charity next year as well. We're going to be doing another 12-hour stream with another charity. another charity donation. So look forward to that. It'll be towards probably about the same time. It'll probably be in June again. And I'm hoping to make that like a yearly thing that we do, because that would be really cool if we could do that. But then we had some Date Everything, more DVD. I kind of got addicted to DVD a little bit. So fucking many hours streamed this week. 12 of that was because of the what do you call it? The charity stream. So that was still 18 hours of the course of the rest of the month. And for someone who is still kind of awkward as hell, I think that was pretty good. July, we really kicked it up. We had a lot more streams of just like, they were shorter, but we had a lot more streams at this point. And 142 followers by the middle of July. I don't think that's accurate. So actually, we're just going to ignore that. We're just going to ignore that a little bit. Because I don't think that's actually that accurate. But that was also when I decided to take my trip. The end of July. You can see after the 17th of July, there was nothing. Because I think I streamed and then I got prepared. Because that was when I had my auto concert, which I've already talked about so much. But it was a really fun time. I met so many cool people. And we're going to get to that. We're just talking about like the streaming part here. And we'll get to the... We'll get to that in a little bit. Then I got back at the end of August, or at the beginning of August. We did some more streams. I kind of didn't know what to do with myself here. So you notice I was doing a lot of like Dead by Daylight. Like Dead by Daylight, Battlefield 6. I just didn't really have too many things that I was doing. Like this is all right here. This is a struggle of trying to figure out what the hell to do. And yet I somehow managed to pull through. And that's why I started doing like Zelda. And at some point I need to go back to that, but I also don't know if I want to. Because like I had my fun with it, but I don't know if I want to complete it. More Dead by Daylight in September. That was when Borderlands 4 started, and Moose and I started doing that. I don't know if we're going to go back to it, because it's really hefty for my PC to run. And I also haven't been like wanting to play too many... I just haven't really been wanting to play too many Borderlands games recently. Run through October. That was the horror month. We actually beat fucking Alien Isolation in that month. Another game beaten, which we have continued our tradition of beating a horror game every October, for the 3rd year in a row, by the way. Because a couple years, maybe I didn't do it last year. Okay, actually I might have skipped last year because I started doing a horror game and then I didn't actually finish one because it was kind of boring. But the year before that, I finished Outlast. And that, like, I finished that the day, I think the very last day of October. But this year was Alien Isolation. That was so much fun. I was terrified. I was 100% terrified of everything that happened in Alien Isolation. Make sure you're drinking your water, by the way, chat. But we got the Dead by Daylight popping back up again because it's hot. Like that's kind of what I felt. Then we had Slay the Princess. Slay the Princess was so fucking fun. I don't even like. You don't even understand. That was so much fun. I very much thoroughly enjoyed Slay the Princess, and I've still listened to the soundtracks. Like even though it's only been 2 months, it's still a common soundtrack that I listen to just because it's so good. And if you haven't played Slay the Princess, I definitely recommend you play it. But yeah, this website is absolutely wrong with half of the shit it's saying. It's got approximate, like you can use it for like trends and like kind of get like guesstimating, but you can't use it for actual stats. But more Dead by Daylight. 7 days. I started it in November, and at some point we'll go back to it again. But I just kind of haven't had the energy to do more 7 days. Because I mean, at the end of the day, once you do like one of the 7 days, and we do the next 7 days, there's not really too much to do after that, you know? You're kind of just doing the same thing. And you can make a bigger house, but it kind of just becomes boring after a little while. Which is why I've started like diving into more of the story-based games. Then we come to December, which we are going to be. I've got Of the Devil planned for the next. I've got Of the Devil planned for another day, and I've got plans in the progress or plans in the works for that to be done. So that'll be a fun little thing you can look forward to if you really enjoyed the Ace Attorney and Danganronpa thing. That was so fun though. I really enjoyed that. But we have gone in the last year. We have gone from probably what, like 120 only 120 subs to 270. I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass, by the way. I don't actually know how much we've gotten over the last year. Actually, let's look at the achievements. Hang on. We've got the build a community. Oh, it doesn't actually tell us when we got those? That's dumb. That's so dumb. When can I look at my first stream? Like, how do I see all these? Like, I'd love to be able to see all, like, everything. I'd love to see all my stats, but Twitch, where are they? Where are all of my stuff? Where is stuff? Oh, apparently category suggestions are a thing. They're like, hey, play these categories. You might get, you know, these are what we recommend. And a lot of it's just bullshit. We got, you know, we got observation. I'm on observation duty. 8. We got Crimson Snow, which is what it's recommending. We got Bookshop Simulator, which could be interesting, actually, now I think about it. But... I could... no, this wouldn't help. And Stream Manager won't help me either, because it doesn't give me any of my analytics. Damn, I'll have to see how I can find all of that. Because there's a lot of, like, really... Like, I feel like there's a lot of really interesting stuff that could exist in just seeing everything. But that was the stream year. We have come so far from just a rinky-dink little bitch to being who we are today. And we are only planning on growing. But I wanted to... do something. I wanted to, what I did was I pulled up a server, right? What I did was I went ahead and I asked my community and a couple friends to go ahead and give me a format of stuff. So what happened was I gave, like, the whole thing was pretty much, I gave them a section of Like I basically said, give me 3 things. Give me a reminiscing of something that you really liked over the past year. Give me a accomplishment, something you feel you're very proud to have accomplished over the past year. And then a goal of something that you want to do in the next year. Sort of like a resolution, but it's, I don't know, goals just sound so much more like plausible than resolution, you know? Because it's like a negative stigmatism with resolution. It's like, oh yeah, I have a New Year's resolution to do this, and then you just never do it because it's just got that negative connotation, you know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add on a special memory to each one of these that I have, that, like, you know, something that reminds me of them, and something that is really, you know, just a cute little, like, you know, something that reminds me of them, and a cute little thing that I really enjoyed that remind, like, you know, a good reminiscent moment that I enjoyed with them this year. So let me just pull this up real quick. And I'm definitely just going to clip these, and I'm going to send them to each of the friends that I've made. And, like, you know, give them each, like, a sort of little cherished piece to hold on to. Whether they want to keep it or not, that's up to them. Give me a second here. Let me put this where it needs to go. All right. Let us get this started. There's not a huge amount. There's only there's a small handful, but you know what? It's still like something that like before we begin all of this, I just want to say that I have met so many people over the last year because of streaming. Like, I kid you not, I have met probably all of these people, like literally all of these people that are in this list outside of like 1 or 2, I have met through streaming. And I am incredibly grateful for every single one of them. And the last year has been just deepening that friendship with all these people, or in other cases, you know, deepening that relationship. But overall, it's been a very interesting year, and I'm very glad to have been part of their lives, and I'm glad they were part of my lives, because we've done like a bunch of fun stuff over the year. So let's get this started with Vero. Verocetious, the Roomba that we all know and love. And, well, maybe some of y'all don't know. But Vero is a friend, probably, honestly, my first... Like, when I started streaming about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I started seriously, like, getting down in streaming, I, of course, didn't really have anybody. But... Vero was one of the, like, there was one day that I was just browsing Twitch while working, and I was just like, you know what, that person's playing Dead by Daylight. And this was back when I was like, I don't think I was even playing Dead by Daylight then. I just said, hey, that person's cool. Actually, no, what happened was, wait, was it? I think I dipped into their channel, or I got raided into them. Either way, I ended up in their channel, and she was playing Dead by Daylight, and it was I started yapping, as I do, and you know, it's what you can say is the rest is history. You start yapping, you start just talking about the game and just making, like, you know, jokes back and forth. It was a little bit awkward at first because, you know, making sure that you didn't press any boundaries that was very, very needing to be not pressed, because, I mean, you don't push people's boundaries. That's what they're there for. But since that day, Vero has been a pretty good friend. The first one to, like, really, no questions asked, to just accept me, for everything, like, for who I am. And again, it's very sweet of her, and I'm very glad that I have been able to be her friend. And this last year has been very much a deepening of that friendship, and I've met quite a few other people through Vero. A lot of them are because of Vero that I met them in the first place. I have nothing but praise for Vero. And I could go on, but I'm going to move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give, you know, Vero reminds me and sort of like a fun little memory. So something that reminds me of Vero. Honestly, I hate to say it because it's pretty spot on. Is Windcraft. Windcraft and Monster Prom. I'll cheat a little bit. That's two things. Vero is the one who got me into Monster Prom, into the Monster Prom series, which in turn lit a fire in myself. And I like that's where I, you know, relate her to, as well as Windcraft, because, you know, Windcraft. So there was a Windcraft Overwatch, and you know, because of Windcraft, you know, because that whole Windcraft thing, I was able to take part in that, and that was really fun to do. Vero is doing Windcraft right now. I know, I'm lurking in her stream. Hey on, I need to send a message real quick. Hey on. But yeah, Vero is a great person, and I relate to Windcraft, or I relate her to Windcraft. I think a good memory I've had with Vero, honestly, there was a personal night we were sitting there talking, and like I'm not gonna get too deep into it because it was a personal thing, but we ended up, you know, it was after a night of just actually no, hey no, we're gonna swap that. Actually, we're gonna go to a couple other times where we've done like party games with a few other people, and that is as far as I'm gonna go into it. But it was a really great time overall, and I've met some really cool people through Vero because of these party games. We had a really good time, and those are honestly really good memories to have. So I will say that is my memories for Vero. Moving on. Oh, hang on. Before I go, actually moving on, I forgot. I was going to read out the reminiscing. So before this begins, I probably should have done this first. But I guess before we continue on, I should do my own reminiscing sort of thing, you know? I should do my own format of this. So I will say real quick, my reminiscing, a thing that I really enjoyed. I really loved doing the charity stream this year. And that was probably a really good memory, and being able to do raise that money that we did for Trevor Project. And like I said, I've still got the sheet that has everybody's names on it. And I'm probably going to keep it. I'm going to get another sheet next year. And accomplishments. Honestly, as far as we've come, I'd say is the accomplishments. Like, we've come a long distance from what we used to be. I'm very much more confident myself. I'm a lot more... Who I am today is part of my... is that accomplishment. And a goal for next year, I think, would come down to... a goal that it would come down to just doing more creative stuff next year. So, like, instead of just playing games, maybe... doing something like adding my own little things, like, or, you know, maybe getting into art because I've thought about getting a drawing tablet, or just, you know, just overall like making more connections as well would also be a goal. Anyway, going on to that, we've got Vero's reminiscing here. Something that she really enjoyed, the 1 year anniversary, her 1 year anniversary. It was I was there for it. It was very sweet. It was very cool to watch. And Vero is, you know, it's a good memory to have. Vero's accomplishment that she finds that she is very proud of is passing her classes. Very, very cool thing, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of that for her. And her goal of finishing rigging her model and having a good year, which is pretty it's pretty overall, but it's still a good goal to have. Anyway, continuing on, we now have Kat. You've seen Kat here a few times. Kat is a friend that I met through a couple other people, and somebody that we'll get into that in a second. Kat's just an overall really cool person. That Zoe art that I posted in the server, that came from Kat, and honestly, been a really good friend. Very glad to have met Kat, and overall, like, we've had a lot of really fun times this year. So going on with what we were doing before, a fun little moment, a fun little, like, a good memory that I have with Kat is honestly probably like when I visited them. We went to a place that I'm not going to name because I don't know how they, like, it's a pretty big place, and I don't know how much that they want to reveal about where they live. But it was a pretty cool place that I visited, and I visited them and somebody else. And we spent the day there, and it was very tiring, but it was very fun. But a thing I associate with them. As much as I hate to say it, Siege is something I very much associate with Kat, just because of how much Siege we've played this year. We've had a lot of good times on Siege, and a lot of, like, a lot of oh my goodness gasp moments, and a lot of, like, just overall very fun times. Even though we don't play Siege much anymore, because I've kind of given up. I say given up on Siege. I've kind of, like, put Siege to the side. Maybe we'll pick up some more Siege streams again next year and do a little bit more casually. But I will always say as well, the memory, like the Zoe art that she drew for me, will also be always a thing I'm going to associate with Kat, because it's such a good drawing. I very much am very proud and happy to have gotten that. I'm glad to have met Kat. So we've got Kat's little reminiscing accomplishment goal. Reminiscement started dating one of their partners. Very happy moment. Always good to have someone that you meet up with and you start dating them that year. The accomplishment, they got their masters, which is fucking amazing. I remember they got their masters at the beginning of December, and I remember we were talking, and Kat was talking about how how she was so nervous for it, and it was really, like, I can imagine. I didn't even know that Kat was getting her masters until I saw her Discord status about it, and I couldn't be more proud. Because that is a massive accomplishment right there. And then a goal for next year, move in with her partner and their friend, which obviously is a really good goal. Being able to move into somewhere with people that you want to be around is always a good thing. Moving on, we got the Moosin. You've seen Moosin quite a lot through Dead by Daylight, through Siege. Moose is someone who I have been I'd say I'm pretty good friends with. We've had, I met them through Siege as well, and through, through other people, but we have done, we've done a lot over the last year when it comes to gaming. Moose doesn't stream themselves. Oh, by the way, I should probably back up a little bit. Virocetious, twitch.tv/Virocetious if you want to check them out. Yeah, I'm not going to shout them out because they're busy streaming right now. But yeah, twitch.tv/Virocetious if you want to, check them out. And, yeah, let me... There you go. I'll do that. I can post that, and it's not shutting them out. If you want to check out Vero, that's Vero's stream link. They're a cool person. Check them out. All right, moving on. Anyway, we got Moose, really cool person. I think a good memory I've had with Moose. Honestly, the Cursed Halo was really fun. Cursed Halo was a short-lived thing, and I got really annoyed with it because that one level, and we haven't gone back to it because of that. And, like, I kind of got burnt out on it, but, like, because Moose had to go off and, like, go get dinner or something, it took a lot longer than expected. We couldn't leave the level for, like, an hour and a half, or, like, maybe, like, 45 minutes. And I was stuck there at the end of the level, not being able to do anything. And so I was trying to like make content, and it was difficult as hell. It kind of burnt me out of the game. Um, but that was a really fun memory with Moose. And I honestly have to say the Halo, a silly little Halo Discord reactive is what reminds me of Moose. Moose has been a very good friend, and the whole like does a lot of Blender work, and is honestly making a couple things and keeping the possibilities. They've been a really solid friend, and I'm glad to have met them. So let's go over their reminiscing here. Meeting many and becoming friends with so many people, something they enjoy doing, which obviously, making friends with people, really good thing to reminisce on. There's a lot of cool people in this world, and having to and making friends with a lot of people you enjoy being around, a really good year, I'd say. An accomplishment, being more independent this year. I feel that's a pretty good thing to be proud of. I remember back when I was still doing my what do you call it? Oh, that reminds me. Hang on. I wanted to do something real quick. I wanted to do something. That reminded me of somebody else that I wanted to ask real quick about this. Give me a second, chat. Let me post. Let me give a message out to these people real quick. Actually, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right, cool. Anyway, moving on. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying, but we're gonna move on. Oh no, we were on Moose's goal. That's right. Yes, that's right. I remember. Being independent, really good thing. Very, very, very cool thing to do. Very awesome and very lovely. And we love to see being able to do more by yourself without relying on others. A goal, not gonna happen. Or finding a job, not gonna happen. I guess it's a silly goal to have. Or I say silly goal. It's a silly goal to them. As you can tell, there's more to it. I just put this here because it's funny. There was an emote here, but it doesn't translate, so I'm putting that. I misspelled pudding, so just ignore that. This incredibly funny description of what actually was there instead. So just imagine that there was an emote there of like Demo Man laughing, because that's exactly what was there. Moving on, Fire Terran, also known as Fire. Fire is part of the group of Moose and Cat, who I have had the pleasure of playing games with. We aren't nearly as close as some of the others, as we usually hold different schedules, but they're still a really cool person, and I'm glad to have met them this year. And going on with what we've been doing, something that a good memory I've had with them is I very much it's gonna be the same as Kat, because I met them both at the same day, and that was honestly a really good like fun time to do. And like before, I'm not gonna go too deep into it because like gives information that I'm not sure how much they want to share, so we're not going to. But it was a really fun time doing hanging out with Fire and Cat. And that was honestly probably the highlight of that time that I went there. Thing I associate with Fire I hate to say it, but Siege as well, because that's honestly like most of what we've played. Because like a lot of what we played was mostly Siege together, and like there was a lot of it on stream, but a lot of it off stream as well. And like the the issue is of holding different schedules. It's hard to like make anything happen. So you kind of get into that point of like, this is what you're playing, and this is kind of like, if you're not playing that, then you're not really hanging out. But regardless of all that, it was still been a really fun time, like, you know, hanging out and being friends with Fire. Let's go over their reminiscing real quick. Something that they really enjoyed this year: seeing friends from different states in person again, and getting to meet 2 more of them in real life as well. One of which was me. I can already tell you that. And that was really fun. It goes back in hand of like a good memory I had. Accomplishment: they got a job, they kept it, and they plan on keeping it at least a while longer, depending on if they get a raise. That is also very valid. Come on, you can if you're not getting a raise and you've got other opportunities, go for the other opportunities. It's there's not really too much to say about that. Like, it's very proud to get a job and keep it. It's definitely a very good feeling to do that, especially if you've struggled to do it in the past. They've got a goal of wanting to start working out for the next year, losing weight, maybe meeting other furs, which I'm assuming are like is the shorthand for furries, which is still a really cool, fun thing because they are definitely a furry, and I hope they get to meet all the furries that they want. Moving on, we've got our lovely a lovely moderator, and my partner, or my current partner, one of my partners, Madison LaFay. It has been, I've known them for 2 years now, 2.5 years, as of July 2023, I think is when it was either June or July 2023, when we first like met on Final Fantasy 14. And honestly, I might not even like be in the whole trans journey if it weren't for Madison. Or it might have been, maybe I would have been like later along. But it has been quite a hectic couple of years. From the moment that I knew them, I just had this trusting feeling, in my, like, you know, in my mind and body. I was like, you know, I can trust this person. They've got that aura. They've got that like a motherly like that motherly aura, you know? But we have been, you know, we've been friends, we've been chatting since, and it has been a long 2.5 years. So going on with what we've been going on with, a good memory that I have, honestly, having to meet, like, being able to meet them this year. She during my trip, I was one of my stops was to visit Madison and hang out IRL, and it was a very fun time. And I honestly I went to I got my first IKEA shark hanging out with them. Donkey still misses you. Listen, you gotta give Donkey pets for me. But it was a very fun time hanging out with them and all that, and being able to see them and just do stuff with them, as well as one of my other friends who also lives with them. We've got ads in 40 seconds, so we're probably going... Everyone else is allergic to them. That's unfortunate. That is super unfortunate. Why is everyone allergic to a donkey? I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna switch this from special events to just chatting. But I'm gonna take this ad break and I'm gonna go use the restroom. So actually, we're gonna come back to this in just a moment. Ads are starting here in just a couple seconds, so I'm gonna go use the restroom. All right, ads are over. Let's get back to it. Not much to say. Welcome back from the ads. Anyway, continuing on. Where were we? Oh yeah, good memory. Good memory with Madison was meeting, you know. She took me to a cliffside. I got a couple good pictures. She didn't throw me off the cliff, which I know a lot of people want to do. But yeah, we went Cheesecake Factory. We did a bunch of other things, and it was really fun. Something I associate with Madison. Too cute to push off a cliff. But that's a hard one. Honestly, I'd have to say Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14, like when I think of like Madison, I definitely think of Final Fantasy 14. And that's mostly just because of how we met, and like, you know, that's kind of just like the point that everything happened. Going on, a good reminiscing thing that they liked this year. They met and started dating someone very sweet and adorable and silly. And you'll never guess who it is. It's definitely not me. Accomplishment that they are very proud of. They found medications to help their mental health. Always a good thing. Listen, mental health is very important. Make sure you're taking care of it. That's to everybody. A goal, continue pursuing personal development projects. Always a good goal to have for next year. There's not really too much to say about it. It's just a good goal to have. And just, you know, keeping something that you have a goal for yourself is important as hell. Because if you don't have a goal, then you kind of like, then what are you like looking forward or looking toward? Continuing on, we've got Storm. Storm is like, we don't really like do much of anything at all. But they're still a cool person. They're also part of the group of like Cat, Moose, Fire. Although it's more on the Siege side, because we really haven't done anything outside of like a couple events. So honestly, if we're talking about good memories, I would have to say the charity event for Storm, because we had I'm pretty sure Storm was there with Repo, or not Repo, Lethal Company, and that was a really fun time. And honestly, Storm's pretty funny. I find Storm's humor great. But something I associate with Storm would have to be like the Storm's it's gonna be Siege again, but also Storm's profile, like the Storm's persona. His persona is it's a deer, or I'm not 100% certain. I think it's a deer, but it's still really cool, and it's definitely something that I associate with Storm. But also the color orange. I don't know why. Like whenever I see orange. Whenever I see Storm, I know that there can be some variation of orange. But going over the list here, I was gonna meet Storm on my trip as well, but unfortunately I kind of chickened out and drove back home a day early, so I wasn't able to meet Storm, which is kind of unfortunate, but maybe next time. I got kind of panicky. But going on their list, something that they enjoyed over the last year, 8-year anniversary with their boyfriend, which is amazing. 8 years is nothing to scoff at, especially in today's world. That's almost a decade of a relationship right there. Something they've accomplished and they're proud to have accomplished. Despite a very rough year overall, they're still pushing through, staying strong and optimistic for the future. And sometimes that's an important part. It's just doing that. Hang on, give me a second, chat. I'm responding to a message. think you... I'm adding one more to this list. All right, cool. Moving on. Anyway, next up we have Cappy, Lazy Cappy, who I've met relatively recently. Like I've only met them in the last half of the year, and but there's like, you know, we've chatted quite a lot, and they're a really cool person, and there's not really too much to say. Like, mostly just because we haven't really done too much, but they're a really cool person, really fun to hang out with, and they're really fun to just like lurk and stream with, and I'm excited for them to come back streaming next year. A good memory I have with them, honestly, I'm gonna take a page out of their book here and say when we played MonsterCon, because I introduced them to MonsterCon, was it like November? And that was a really fun time, all of us doing that together, which by the way, I still have the stream in my OBS. I just haven't actually done anything with it, which is kind of a problem, but you know, whatever, right? Let's see. But something I associate with them, it's gonna be easy, capybaras. Also, there's this little program that they have where they, like, when somebody sends them bits, it sends a bunch of acorns on their head and like gives them a concussion. It's kind of funny, and I enjoy sending bits that way. And maybe I'm gonna look at getting that in the future for myself. But taking a look at their list here is what they send. Something they enjoyed playing MonsterCon with me. I'm glad that we met, and you know, it's very sweet. I'm very glad that I met Cappy as well, because Cappy's a really cool individual. They're helping me find fashion stuff as well. That's doing off-stream stuff, but they're helping me find fashion. They've given me a bunch of like, yeah, you know, we've chatted and yapped about a bunch of stuff. Something they're proud to have accomplished this year. They completed a huge project at work and hosted a week-long streamathon. I remember that. I was there for that. And that was a really fun thing to be around, and like really cool to see all the goals that they had. And they've got some pieces of that they can be working on at some point, I think, with their community. And their goal is to keep working on putting themselves first, which is always a good goal to have. You got to make sure that you can take care of yourself before anybody else. And as long as you are able to hold that in, you know, in yourself, then I think you've got yourself a very, you know, successful life there. And I'm very, like, overall, I'm very glad to have met Cappy. And, you know, funny enough, I don't even, like, participate in the thing that I met Cappy in. I think this all started with a joke about a danger noodle being in their pocket. And we still hold that joke to this day. But, it's a funny little thing. But yeah, Cappy, really cool person. And if you want to check them out, twitch.tv/lazy_Cappy. I think that's what it is. So if you want to check them out, that's their channel link as well. Moving on to Misu Umena. Misu is someone who you don't really see around the channel. Like, they lurk, they come in, they poke in, they say hi, and they lurk. And I always very much appreciate seeing them. We've chatted outside the stream as well. And I lurk in their streams. Really cool person, very chaotic, very fun to be around. Very I say outspoken. They're very energetic is a good way to say it. They are someone who just always brings a good energy to the table, and I very much appreciate, you know, whenever I see their name in chat, I know that they've always got something nice to say and something really, you know, they're always looking out for you, you know? I think a good memory I have with them would have to be the charity stream when we were doing the Uno together. It was us two and a couple others. The entirety of having the issues in the first place was annoying, but overall, what do you call it? Overall, they were like, it was a really fun time. And I'm glad that I invited them to do the... I'm very glad that I invited them to join the charity stream, as well as the fact, like, we've got other, like, I want to do some more stuff with them, but that's something else that we can go into. Now that I think about it, I could have added something else with my whole thing here, but maybe we can do that after. Let's see, a thing I associate them with. Honestly, I'd say Halloween stuff. Like, they're very much, like, they've got the whole Halloween aesthetic, and I very much enjoy Halloween and the entire month of October. And I very much, I very much love the aesthetic they bring. So, that's what I would associate Misu with. So going on to... I don't even remember where I met Misu. I think it was like on a stream somewhere randomly. Or maybe we were raided into Misu at one point and we kind of just started yapping. I don't actually remember. I hate to say it, but I don't. I have bad memory. But let's go into a list. Reminiscing, something they really enjoyed this year was their new model debut. They recently debuted their model. Really cool, by the way. I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend checking them out. But the model is really, like, it's really high def, really smooth, really awesome, and it's very cute, and I love it. And they're just a really, like, it's a really cool model. Achievement they're very proud of, getting to meet so many amazing people, and like, that's always a good achievement to have. You can never... meeting people will not always be a good thing, but it's typically always a good thing. It's only very rare cases that it's not. They've got a goal for next year to learn Spanish and to art, which, is similar to mine in terms of wanting to do more art stuff. But if you want to check them out, that would be twitch.tv/misumena. I think that's how you spell it. But we also have what you might think this is the end, but we have one more. We have one more chat. And it's not going to be seen in... Y'all aren't going to see this is through Discord. And I was just talking to the person about this, so... So you're going to have to, keep it... you're going to have to not look at the screen for this. But... Delphinium... We aren't the closest, but we, like, I wouldn't say we're, like, super close friends or anything, but we do have a talking relationship, and they're a really cool person. They are very, like, we pretty much keep to our own little spheres, and they don't intersect too much, but we'll sometimes just, like, see something and send off a message, and then, that's kind of just how, like, the entire relationship is we'll just send a message to each other, when we see something cool, or when we say something, like, there's something we want to say, and then, move on with the day. But I wanted to extend the invite to them as well, because why not? But I think a good memory I have with Delphi, honestly, they're, this is gonna be the same for both of the, like, the first time that I heard their raid thing was really funny. I very much enjoyed that. And that also goes with the association, is their raid song. It's just super funny. It's something that I very much enjoy. It's super funny, it's super silly, and I also just, it's the best. But another thing I associate with them, obviously, is Yuri. Sapphic, Yuri, lesbian. They're very much lesbian artists, and it's very cool to see all the stuff that they do in the games, like the cool games that they introduced me to, and the all the different types of media that they've that we've talked about. Going on to their list. of reminiscing something that they loved this year were all the people and friends they grew closer with or become acquainted with, which is like, you know, you can never go wrong with friends. I'm always going to say that. And accomplishments, she updated her PC and got to play all the games she wanted. Also hit the 500 follower milestone this year. That is insane. 500 followers is absolutely wild. And well earned, 100% well earned. A goal for next year, to start using a live 2D model instead of PNG. That will have so much power. Listen, Delphi with a Delphi with a live 2D is going to have the most power in the world. 100,000%. There's no question about it. Whew. Okay, cool. My jaw is hurting. My jaw is very much hurting. So what we are going to do is we're going to end this Yap stream. Oh, hang on. They also have a Twitch channel, by the way. Let me find their Twitch channel real quick. It is twitch.tv/Definium, which is definitely interesting because they're like, they usually go by, it's Delphi, but they've got the I there instead. And that actually tripped me up the first time I saw it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and end stream here though. Actually, no, before we end stream, I want to do something that I just thought of. Something I talked about, like a goal that I had. So I want to do something more and like make a goal for each of these individuals. Most of it's going to be just like, you know, getting closer, like, you know, becoming closer to them or doing more stuff with them. But actually, you know what? No, there's not, like, I'm not going to go too deep into it. Yeah, the goal I have is just to get closer with all the friends that I've made over the last year, and the acquaintances I've made. Maybe do some more collabs with them, and overall just have a really good time. But yeah, my throat feels like it's going to kill itself, so we're probably going to end here. So let's go ahead and raid into Vero, who's playing Windcraft, because why not? And we love it. And I appreciate everybody for coming by. This is the last stream of the year. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I might stream Thursday, though. It depends on what's going on. Good night. See ya. It's not nighttime yet. It's still afternoon. But make sure y'all stay warm. Make sure y'all, you know, drink your water, stay warm. And I wish you all a happy new year. And I will see you all in 2026. Get yourself some good plans. Please don't get sick during the next couple of days. And don't start the new year on a bad note. I look forward to seeing you all then. And I hope you all... Oh, wait, it's 3. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. I had a longer stream, but it's not that long of a stream. Good night, or goodbye. Oh my god, you got me saying it now. Goodbye.